Hey YouTube, South with Everyman prepping here. How's everybody doing out there today? Did everybody have a great Christmas, a happy New Year, Hanukkah, whatever you get, whatever you practice out there? Hopefully you had a great time during this holiday season. And now we move into, waiting for January 20th. What's going to happen? We already saw what happened January 1st. You had the New Orleans guy in the vehicle ramming everybody. Then we had the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion. Is there more coming? I believe there is. I don't know what, where, when, how, or anything like that, but I expect more. You should expect more. Nothing happens, great. But you need to be prepared. You need to have your head on a swivel, ear to the ground, all that, because when you're out in public, around your house even, you got to be ready for whatever may happen. The powers that be, the ones in charge, whatever you want to call it, they, them, that are out there. They didn't want Trump as president. They did everything they could to stop him. They got this close, this close to stopping him. So are they going to do what they can to either stop January 20th from happening? Are they doing anything to hinder it, to make the presidency as horrible as possible, crash the system, war, whatever? Yes, it could be answered all three of those, but we shall see. Just take your time now to, next couple of weeks, be very cautious, and even into the beginning of the presidency. Now, today we're going to talk about, Trump had a press conference today. He's been saying a lot of wild stuff, a lot of wild things he wants to do. So I want to talk about some of those and maybe what is going on with that. And we're going to hit on the bird flu next pandemic thing coming up. So I want to talk a little about that fact. We'll probably start with that and whatever else my mind wanders off to in the meantime. So as we get started, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Come join us whenever I put these videos out. We'd love to have you stay with us and comment down below, how things went for you during the holidays, what you're thinking about, Trump and his projections, what he wants to do, and, why not, anything else about the pandemic or, anything else going on. I'd love to hear your comments below. But let's get started here. And we're just going to go through, this is my, my X feed, stuff I put out in my bookmarks I want to talk about. And like I said, we're going to talk about this, bird flu. As the second post here, you can see it says, the first human death from H5N1 came in Louisiana. And, check how they write this, how this person wrote this. It says, there's calls for the government to ramp up efforts to stave off the threat of another pandemic, particularly ahead of Donald Trump's return to the White House, according to Barron's. So according to Barron's, because Trump's president, like I told you, we're definitely going to have another pandemic. Is basically how this is written to me. So like I said, a lot of stuff going to happen because he's in there. So just get ready. As the first post says here, it says Washington state health officials are urging hunters, people outdoors, hunting deer, turkey, boar, whatever they're hunting over there in Washington. They would like them to walk around with N95 respirators due to the bird flu. So can you imagine a bunch of hunters out there? Makes me crack up. Out there hunting with their masks on because they're afraid of the deer infecting them or some bird's going to crap on them from the sky or whatever's going to happen. So, this is kind of the lunacy we're at. We're asking hunters that are outdoors to wear respirators so they don't die of bird flu. So just keep your eye on this. Like I said, we had one person die. Today they're also putting up, don't worry. It's not really a cause for worry for the human population right now. So when they say, kind of reminiscent of a COVID, right? They kind of said that at the beginning, then, they turned up the fire and everything. So, just keep your eye on that pandemic thing. Now let's talk about Trump and his press conference. He was kind of all over the place. My bookmarks kind of follow that as going all over. First thing I have here is he wants to, rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. All right, nationalism, the pride of that. I don't know if you have an opinion on that either way. I don't even know how you go about renaming it or you just start calling it that. Who knows? But he'd like to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And then the key part of this post you see here is, huge talk about Trump wanting to make Canada a state, make Greenland a state, bring them both into the United States, take them over. Donald Trump Jr. went to Greenland today. We'll see a picture of that in a minute. I don't know what he's doing there, but Trump is really pushing for this Greenland Canada thing. As this post here says, it says, Trump won't commit to not using the military to capture the Panama Canal back and or Greenland. So we're telling me that we're going to send the military to take the Panama Canal back and we're going to invade Greenland. We're going to take it from Denmark by force. Crazy statements, but that's, I'm not going to play for you. That's basically what he said here is, I'm not going to rule it out. He said Greenland's a national security thing. So why is Greenland a national security issue? Yes, it's close to the Arctic. Are we in a race for the Arctic? Are we afraid Russia's going to come through Greenland to attack us? Very interesting. I'll talk more about Greenland in a minute as we go on here, but I don't want to move on to a few other things. But in the Panama Canal, he wants to take it back. I believe Jimmy Carter was the one that gave it back to Panama. I believe, not totally sure on that, but I think that's when the agreement was signed. It took many years after that for it to happen. I believe that's when it was signed. That was a huge mistake. We built it, we paid for it, we secured it, then we just gave it back, and now Panama's charging huge fees to shipping companies, making a ton of money. That's a strategic nightmare that should never have happened. That's something the United States should have always controlled, held control of, secured it. That was a dumb move. Do we need it back? Yes, we do. We're going to take it by force? Who knows? We'll see. And here's Greenland. Donald Trump Jr. arrives in Greenland. He was on Trump Force One, Trump's plane. Now, what? And you can see him flying. Here it is. You can see it flying in right here. I'm circling with the mouse. He's going to land. So, Greenland. Frozen wasteland, right? What's up there? They have natural resources? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm sure they have some. Is that why we need it? Is that why it's national security? Is it a national security thing because we want to control the Arctic and Russia's doing the same from their side? Maybe. I know there's some military bases there. There's some underground stuff going on there, some other weird stuff. It has to do anything with these UFO/drone things. I don't know. They're saying national security. One other thing about Greenland is, if you watch Suspicious Observer, Ben Davidson's YouTube channel, or subscribe to him on X, he has a theory that in the 2030s, 2040s, the Earth is going to go through a supernova and rotate. It's going to go through a 90-degree rotation. The globe's just going to shift 90 degrees. And Greenland is going to become a grow zone. It's going to be, like its name suggests, green. It's going to become a grow zone. It's going to be Greenland again. Is this happening much faster than even what Ben predicts? Is it going to happen really soon? That's why we need it for national security, because that's where we're going to be growing everything, because the rest of the United States, when it rotates 90 degrees, is dropping to colder climate. I don't know. Write down below in the comments what you think. But something's definitely out there. Trump is pushing hard for Greenland and Canada, along with the Panama Canal. Why do we want Canada? Okay, here's the other thing about Canada. We'll talk about the hostages here in a minute. Here's the need Greenland for national security question that he answered, talking about that. But we'll get to this here in a minute. We'll stare at Greenland some more. If you take Canada as another state in the United States, the Republicans, conservatives will never see the presidency again. They'll lose the Senate, the House. Canada is basically one gigantic blue state. It's like a California, a New York, New Jersey. It's like the East Coast or West Coast. It would be game over for the Republicans. It makes no sense he wants to make them a state. Now, smart guy, brands himself as a great negotiator. So maybe he's saying, you always over ask and you get what you want at the end. So the over ask is, we want Canada to be a state, where it'll be, instead of that, maybe it'll be like a Puerto Rico or a territory where, they can't sway the elections. They don't have representatives. They don't have electoral votes, all that stuff. Something turns into that, but we can still control it for trade and national security. It's next to the Arctic. I don't know, but he's smart enough to know that it can't be a state. You'll lose every election from that point on forward. So, not sure what he's going after, but he's pushing hard for it. A lot of other problems are at hand. We got the Middle East to worry about. We've got North Korea. We've got China, Russia, and we're working about conquering new land. I don't know. It looks like there's something strange. I don't know what's going on. Speaking of Middle East, so Trump is doubling down in his press conference, saying, if those hostages are not back by the time I get into the office, so this is a quote, I'll start over. Quote, if those hostages are not back in time by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. Unquote. So what's he saying? That, we got, today's like the 7th, right? So in 2 weeks, basically, we'll call it 2 weeks. If in 2 weeks, all the hostages are released, is he going to unload on Iran? Is he basically going to blame Iran? Is this how we get into finally attacking the Iranian nuclear sites, which Trump is for? Trump's cabinet and his appointees and people in his administration, very much war hawks against Iran. They want to go after Iran for sure. So is this just a way of laying the groundwork so they can do it? They said, well, we told them they can give us the hostages. We have to do it now. So look for the war to go on. I don't think the hostages will be released. I think Iran and Hamas will call his bluff, whether or not Trump's bluffing or not, but This is not a good situation at all. We talked about Greenland here. And then this is the last one thing I'll talk on. This is really good. He's talking about pardoning the January 6th, the J6 defendants. He says, we'll be looking at the whole thing. Yes, he says. Trump reaffirms intentions to pardon J6 defendants and reiterates claims that FBI agents were in the crowd, which we know is true now. So hopefully he does pardon them all. Pardon all of them. You know, the whole thing was a sham. They're walking through there. You know, if you want to give them all trespassing tickets, fine, give them that. But the solitary confinement, what those gals have been put through is a blight on the United States history. And yes, I hope he pardons all of them. Just get them all a new start. Not only talk about reparations. Maybe we need to do some reparations for the guys. Pay back all their lawyer fees, all the money they've missed out for their families, and the incomes they couldn't earn because they were in jail. So I'd be all for that too. I don't know what you guys think, but I'd be for that too. So that's all I have for you today. Want to make this a shorter video. Please leave your comments below on what we talked about, what you think Trump's plan is, what he's going after. Are you concerned about bird flu becoming the next pandemic or not? Do you see something else happening? And anything else top of your mind. So hope you got something out of this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.